always, make sure that you join us on this great escapade of making sure that you get credited into your Momo account a lot of money by just playing cash out, as well as Dewa 539 chop money. And for cash out, it goes with a short code star 439 hash, star 439 hash. And for Dewa 539 chop money, it is star 446 hash. Now, we have to ask you this question: how do you dispose of your used electrical and electronic equipment? Now, do you know that improper disposal of used and waste electrical and electronic equipment is a health and environmental risk or hazard? Now, the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, is conducting a national inventory and situational analysis of electrical and electronic waste, popularly known to many of us as e-waste, of the actual volumes of e-waste that we have in Ghana. The result of this inventory or survey will inform policy interventions, business promotion, and also inform appropriate treatment options within the e-waste value chain. For this reason, enumerators will be in the field to take inventory of both functioning as well as waste electrical and electronic equipment in all households, private and public institutions, among many other agencies. Now, this exercise will also take place from many areas across the country. It started from October 2 and then will end on October 11. It will take place in the Greater Accra region, the Bono East region, the Ahafo region, Ashanti, Eastern, Central, Western, Western North, and Volta regions. Enumerators will then wear reflective vests and possess a valid photo identification cards for you to be able to identify them. So we encourage everybody alongside the EPA to support and also cooperate with these officials when they come around to take these information for this inventory. Now, that's where we have to start the issues this morning. We're starting on the subject of whether there's a growing culture of intolerance. Just yesterday, the Minister of Information, Kojo Ponkroma, famously, he used to be a practicing journalist, of course. He's also a legal practitioner. He said that across the political divide, as well as the various facets of our society, we have a growing culture of intolerance. And so it should not only be that this blame should be on the ruling MPP or the governing MPP and its supporters or those in government, but that within the political landscape, this is what we have. But we also know that this is coming on the back of that invasion by tax of the MPP, who, if you look at the official position they hold, are youth leaders, and we're told in the Greater Accra region. Of course, the party has condemned the action, but what is this culture now creeping in? And you will remember that there were a number of members of what used to be known as the Delta Force. They're still around because there's a video that has emerged in which some of them based in Kumasi said they were supporting Kenny Japan, etc., where they invaded a certain court, and the judge, we're told at the time, was pregnant, and subsequently we saw no insight to the case because a nolle prosequi was filed, etc. And then since then, we've had a number of instances. Kenny Japan himself displayed a picture of Ahmed Swale, and then subsequently, we've had a number of concerns. For example, personally, myself, Johnny, we get these calls all the time. We seem to think that it's a normal thing. Trolling on social media is part of the growing lack of tolerance in our political space. Why should we be worried? And to help us with the discussion this morning, I have just straight in front of me a former High Commissioner of Ghana to India, Ambassador Sampi Yali. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
He's also a lawyer as well. And then I have Amidu Chinia Isahaku. He currently is a Deputy Sanitation Minister, but currently also the Member of Parliament for Sisala West. And so for all constituents... Okay. Sisala East. Let me correct that again. Amidu Chinia Isahaku, Member of Parliament for Sisala East. Let me not change the constituency name. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
And Bernard Mona is former chair of the PNC. Thank you for joining me as well. Now, the subject of growing intolerance may, within the corridors of the governing MPP, Ms. Amidu, has it been noticed that this is a concern?
Well, good morning and good morning to my colleague panelists, to the people of Sisala East who are representing Parliament. Of course, I mean, it's a national concern, and the MPP party cannot be an exception because it's a concern that is observed on a regular basis across the political divide. And every believer of democracy must be concerned about it. It happens from time to time. On most of the occasions, not sanctioned by the party as an entity, but individuals within the party take the laws into their hands and commit certain crimes that should not be accepted. But I think the worrying part of it should be how we deal with the matters when they come up. Because as for irregular behavior, even in our homes, it comes from time to time. But how you deal with it is where the challenge is, in my view. That as political parties and as a government, probably we are not dealing with this irregular behavior the way they should be dealt with. And that is what we should be looking at going forward. In the specific case of the UTV incident, already you know the party's position. It's not something that was sanctioned by the party, and the party has condemned it. The party has indicated its displeasure about the happening. And of course, it was the information minister who, when he got the information, called the IGP to report and to ask for the arrest of those who were involved, and it was accordingly, they were accordingly arrested. And subsequently, the information minister called the media house to check whether the host and the panelists were safe and whether there was any support that ought to be given to them. And the indication was that everything was okay. I mean, they were not directly attacked, even though the individuals were in the premises or in the building, but they did not get to the host and the panelists, and so there was not that physical contact between them and the host and the panelists. Subsequently to the regional chairman of the MPP, the director of communication and other officials of the party have visited the station to apologize to those who were involved and to give some assurances of the support of the party and to distance the party from the incident and all that. So clearly the party has indicated its position as far as this irregular behavior is concerned. But like I said earlier, what we need to look at as a country is how we deal with these matters so that it becomes a deterrent to future occurrences. I think that is where we are having issues. But let me also hasten to say that sometimes the way the media, the way we respond to some of these incidences, as much as we agree that the behavior was irregular, unacceptable, unlawful, and all that, but the conduct of media houses also ought to be questioned.
What do you mean by that?
Because the impression is being created as though because freedom of the media, freedom of expression is guaranteed under the Constitution, it means that nobody should have any question about how things are handled within the media space. It cannot be so.
Okay.
I mean,
Ms. Amidu, let me just read this.
I am coming.
Article 162, you go to 4, it says, editors and publishers of newspapers and other institutions of the mass media shall not be subject to control or interference by government, nor shall they be penalized or harassed for their editorial opinions and views. And I'm emphasizing editorial opinions and views or the content of their publications. And we also know that there are certain redresses or remedies that have been made in law. So at least I know what the norm has been was that until the last seven years, you have to go to the National Media Commission. You get a read. If you're not satisfied and you feel that you still feel aggrieved, you can still go to court.
You see, that is one of the areas I personally have issues with.
You are saying the framers of our constitution.
No. The framers of the constitution have no problem.
Okay.
It is.
But you have the problem with
we the
what the framers.
No, we the interpreters. There is no article in the constitution that operates in isolation.
True.
There is no one article that operates. I mean, you have them backing each other.
True.
What you have just read, that is the case. But it does not also mean that can you come and sit here because of you have the right guaranteed under the constitution to have your editorial policy the way you want it, to say that I am going to kill Amidi Chenya. Can you do that? Because the constitution guarantees you. Can you do that? There are limitations.
True.
There are other regulations or laws within the same constitution that regulate this one that you have read.
I see.
And when you look at it, the MPP party, after observing certain things that were going on a particular show on UTV, wrote officially.
I see.
You can disagree with the content of the letter, but the party writing officially to make a claim does not also, the constitution doesn't also bar the party from writing to a media station to make a request or to make a demand. It's not unconstitutional too.
To make a request and make a demand.
Yes, you are not directing the media as to what they should do, but you are also raising concerns. And it is the right of any individual or any party to raise concerns about your show. I cannot come here and start attacking, insulting you, or come and start misbehaving, but I can write to you and say that, yes, I have observed this, your program. I have these observations. I have this disagreement. It is my right. You can disagree with my disagreement, but you cannot also say that I don't have the right to officially write to you to state what I don't agree with you. So if the party writes to UTV on their concerns about a program and the content of the program, I mean, you cannot say on the basis of this provision in 162 that the party doesn't have right to demand that the way you
including invasion. Look at your party members.
No, as for the invasion, we all say it's unacceptable. I mean, it cannot be right. Your right to demand the right thing to be done does not mean you can infringe on somebody's right. Now, let me state this, that TV3, you have a host of programs, and everybody knows the nature of every program. For instance, you have Ghana Most Beautiful. Ghana Most Beautiful is a program, it's not a political program, isn't it? You have entertainment program, you have sports programs. So if it gets to a point that TV3 turns Ghana Most Beautiful into a political show, that you now discuss politics more than even the intended purpose of the program, and somebody calls or writes to you to question that, oh, this is your Ghana Most Beautiful program that you have been doing, which is a social program, more or less an entertainment program. Almost all your panelists and almost all your programs these days has turned political. You have found a way.
Are you equating the Ghana Most Beautiful show or the program?
It's an example I'm giving.
Okay, because they are not the same.
This particular program on UTV is a showbiz program, isn't it? It's an entertainment program.
It's an entertainment.
Yes, listen.
Review program.
Yes. So
policy,
occasionally you can't take politics out of any program. Great. But where politics become the center continuously,
I see.
It means that you must find a way of giving equal opportunity to political parties to have their say.
We know that the Ministry of Information also condemned in all categorical terms this very attack. But also the ministry saying that, well, we have a creeping culture of intolerance. One of the consistent panelists on the UTV showbiz program is on stream currently, and A+ has joined us. Kwame, good morning to you.
Kwame, good morning, Roland.
Yeah, great. Now, is it your understanding that your appearance on the United Showbiz program has had a political objective by way of the discussions you had, Kwame?
I don't see anything wrong with that. When I had a call from United Television. The speaker was not there. When we were designing the show, the person you were speaking to was not there. I had a call from UTV, and the call was that Mark Brown and myself are going to start a show called United Showbiz. We started the show. The very first day that we turned on that show, I was on the show with Mark Brown. When we were discussing what we were going to do on that show, the speaker was not there. And even if we decide to turn it into a political show, like Kevin Taylor does, no political party must feel entitled or must demand to be there because we have turned it into a political show. How is that anybody's business? Is this UT? Is it GBC? Where we demand fair representation. This is United Television, it's a private TV station. Unless anybody is telling us that when Trinidad Jonas is doing a live show, and because he has said that he's going to have Facebook live sessions, immediately he's going to talk about football. Anytime he starts talking about politics, MPP should go to him and say that now when you talk, let us do talk some more. What kind of mentality is this? And if I have to, if a letter was written to a television station, an official letter, look, some of these things, I don't like people playing mischief. If an official letter was written to a television station, it is called protest. Tearing, even if it is the original one I ripped apart, it is called protest. It is a form of protest. And if I am protesting and you are not happy about it, you cannot go and read. It is in the criminal code. Everybody in showbiz or whatever can decide to be who they want to be. People can be naive. I am a law student. I have a master's. I have a bachelor's. I'm not an illiterate too. People here, look, I am well lettered than your deputy interior minister and a host of them. Can you are telling us that I ripped a letter apart, and so what? It is a form of protest, and there is nowhere in the laws of Ghana where you can get up and because you are not happy about something, you go and unlawfully enter somebody's premises, and you have people who have been to school finding ways to defend this. And that's the same character they bring into public service. When we were doing a Dumso Must Stop, it was okay. The language was beautiful. When we were attacking John Mahama, it was beautiful. The language was good. Today, when it affects MPP, everybody finds a way. Let's do national cohesion. We were in this country. When something happened in Diamond, at Dabon, FM or whatever, in the north, did the minister talk about national cohesion? No. Nobody spoke about cohesion.
Okay.
The ministry was straightforward to the issue, dealt with the issue. When it gets to MPP tax going to misbehave, then we polish it.
All right. So you are saying, okay, I'll come back to you. Mr. Sampi, please still be on the stream for us, Kwame. Mr. Sampi, he seems to say that he has a right to undertake what he does because he feels rather the culture of intolerance has been deepened under the Akufo-Addo-led administration. What do you say to this?
Well, Roland, good morning to the analyst. But before I answer your question, I urge the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to immediately take steps to evacuate all Ghanaians that have been caught in the crossfire between Israel and Palestine. Because the movement I have seen and the intention of one of the factions is that they are going to be very, very ruthless. And we have a responsibility as a country to make sure that our citizens are protected in such crossfires. And we should also desist from unwittingly taking sides. You know, I have seen the statement by the Foreign Affairs Ministry, and I think it was in such a bad taste. Because in this turmoil where your citizens are currently trapped, you don't raise certain tensions or show bias which will be against, you know, some people take that, oh, your country is against our call and they would attack our people.
Okay.
This is a diplomatic error and the minister should better change the strategy. What I'm thinking is that today or tomorrow, a plane from Ghana will go and land and maybe at Tel Aviv or somewhere to bring the Ghanaians home. And if Ghana government has any issues with whatever is going on, they should address it at the United Nations. You know, these letters that we are writing, supporting one side or not, does not make any sense to me.
Okay.
Now, my second plea is for Minister. I want you to carry this personally to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, that he should heed the plea of kidney patients. Kidney patients. You know, we have about 700 people that need dialysis. Yesterday, I listened to the program, and the minister, the Kolebu Teaching Hospital man, plus the presidential advisor, were all talking about cost. Like A+ has said, we are in an era of double culture.
Not intolerance.
No, double culture. If it affects me, my language is different. If it affects you, your language is different. The part of this whole business that irritates me is the violation of all the provisions concerning media freedom in this country. I was a member of the Consultative Assembly, and when we were debating the media, because of our previous experiences, we made sure that we have made that provisions very, very watertight. So if you look at it, that's why you could have said the fourth estate, that after the executive, legislature, and the judiciary, media freedom is the next provision. You see how serious that is? And it's very, very clear. It doesn't need Kojo Oppong Nkrumah or anybody to interpret or misinterpret. As you rightly said, it says that in the performance of your functions, nobody, just like those in the NPP, when it's about electoral commission, nobody has the right to interfere in the affairs of the EC. Media is one of the insulated organizations. It is one of the independent organizations in this country. Never mind that some of your own people have compromised your position. But by the provisions of the Constitution, you are just powerful if you wanted to discharge your duties. Now, nobody has the right to determine, interfere, or even, like he's saying, interpret the media and what they do.
How would you describe the letter written by the NPP?
It's a useless letter.
What?
Useless letter. You see?
What you're saying is almost like tearing the photocopy.
What is useless is useless. Please wait. The Constitution says that if you are unhappy with the conduct of any media house, you see, Roland, there's a Constitution in my hand, and it says that any medium in the dissemination of information to the public which publishes a statement about or against any person shall be obliged to publish a rejoinder, if any, from the person in respect of whom the publication was made.
That's 6.
6. This is the Constitution. Any other thing than this is a violation of the Constitution. Right? If it was that letter was written by NDC, I would still say it's a useless letter because it does not correspond or sit well with the Constitution. So even if it came from my party, I say it's a useless letter because it didn't mean to achieve anything. Listen, the NPP is saying that they are worried about what happened. People have just rushed there to give consolations and all those. Roland, are they genuine? Are these genuine? Because 4 days before that incident, you saw the deputy communication officer of the NPP, who is also the communication director of the Ghana Gas. And I think last time you showed the video, saying that the UTV program has deviated or the same terminology they are using. And that if it was at the time of the NDC, Imbabulunu would have gone to the station. If I'm lying, your production for this station, the production is so superb. They can show that video. They can show that video. You see, and my fear is that somebody showed Ahmed Swale's picture. Subsequently, he was killed. Shot. Another person sit there and says that, look, the UTV program is becoming something else because it is not, it is not being fair. It is against the president. And so Mebunu should charge. Now eventually the Mebunu charge, and you are now pontificating. My final point on this is that, look, if Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, my son, is now complaining about media public intolerance, then he has failed in his work. Because his duty as the Minister for Information is to inform people, not so educate people with the National Commission for Civic Education. That, look, how have you moved from culture of silence to culture of impunity? And now people are saying that, go to hell. Yeah, whatever it is, we will take the laws into our own hands. Roland, is it not recently that they said they have disbanded the vigilante? So these boys who went there have they not violated that law?
Okay, let me go to A+. Now let me quickly deal with you in the next few minutes.
Okay.
Based on the position that you hold, as well as the members of your panelists, the discussions that you continuously engaged in on the United Showbiz program, was it of a political nature and not entertainment, or it was the political side of entertainment?
Okay, so Roland, let me answer your question this way. I can walk into the studio and then you ask me, what do you think about Sarkodie? And I said, I think Akufo-Addo has failed. He's one of the worst presidents we have ever had. And it is the duty of the producer to say, these days, you are not answering show-based questions, so don't come on the show. It is for the host to say, I didn't ask you that question. What we are talking about is Sarkodie. That is not all, and it is the job of the viewer to just tune off and say, because of this, I don't want to watch that. There's too many TV stations around. What is anybody's business? Whether it has taken a political, how does that concern anybody? Are the sponsors complaining? Are the sponsors complaining? And if it has taken if it is a political, Roland, don't we have a minister for tourism and creative arts? So the creative arts is inside our politics. If the president goes to the Independence Square and is booed, and we come to talk about the show that the president attended at the Independence Square, and you are telling me that we shouldn't talk about the booing, let's just talk about the dancing and the music. How does that work? If you have Socrates Safo, who is the chairman of Creative Arts, I don't know even what his position is, on the show, and we are talking about the MPP promising in their manifesto that they are going to build theaters across the country in every region. They are going to give money for whatever. They are going to build studios. And we are discussing that this government has failed. This government has deceived us. This government has lied to us. When we say, what should we say? We should just play, we should put it into music. Roland, you see why when I began making music, I was doing politics. I didn't come into this scene to become, to win BETU. I had something I wanted to say. When I was 20 years, I wanted to say something, and I wanted to say it on a beat. I've always look, from my childhood, I've always had something to say. 46 years, you want me to go to the studio and still make music for people to listen, or when I come on United Showbiz, I can say what I have to say. And in any case, Roland,
A+, please.
Let's do this in 30 seconds.
No, pack and let's talk for the next few minutes. Then you can, please. Just pack. Okay.
Oh, I'm packed.
Okay. Continue.
So, Roland.
Yes, sir.
The most popular journalist in this country, the so-called senior journalist in this country, they made their name under a military regime, under Rawlings. That's when we had the Kofi Kumsin, the Harry Natta, the Kweku Baako, the Kwesi Pratt, under a military regime. This means that even under Rawlings, people were resisting attempts to deprive them of their right to freedom of expression. and today, 2023, you will come and tell me what to say and how to say it on TV.
Now, as we let you go,
And where
okay, A plus, as we let you go,
this.
as we let you go, A plus, what is your now final reaction to all that has been coming since the incident on Saturday night? That is from the MPP, from the minister or the Ministry of Information, from even some other colleague media personalities or journalists who seem to be justifying this action. What would be your final thoughts on this?
It's fine. I'm so happy. What has happened will prevent other people from coming to attack you in your studio. If we had allowed them to go on like this, I'm sure that by tomorrow, another group of boys will come to your studio to come and attack you. We are fighting for everybody. What has happened does not affect me, A+. When they came there, it took them 2 weeks to organize those people. In 30 minutes, I'd organized 3 pickup load of boys. Now they know. So I'm fighting for other people. So when you are in your studio, nobody will come and attack you. And let me say this. There is a station called Wontumi TV. There's a guy called Maurice Ampao on that station who insults me every day. And you know me, I may not agree with what you have to say about me, but I will defend to death your right to say it. Say it and go. I don't care. It's either I will listen to you, and there's nobody, including the hypocrite Ujo Ponkroma, who has come out to say, Maurice Ampao, please let's do national cohesion. That guy is insulting me every day. He said I even killed my father. Am I angry? Me, I don't care. I don't care what you have to say about me.
All right. I know that you're in the constituency. Which constituency is that? You announced that you are vying for a seat. So which constituency is that?
Gomoa Central.
Gomoa Central. So incoming Gomoa Central member of Parliament. You are standing as independent on your movement.
Independent is independent. And please, not incoming. Please, honorable.
Okay.
I have won already.
Honorable A+. Kwame, Charlie, we'll go talk later. Thank you, bro.
Thank you very much.
All right, bro.
Kwame, let's talk.
Now, how do you react to all this? Before I bring
on the lighter
Honorable
side,
Amidoyin.
let me tell my brother A+, that if you had won already, you'd have been in Parliament now. But you are not there, so you have not won.
acting honorable.
But he has a nice family. I was there to commiserate with him.
The funeral?
Yeah, I was there. Apparently, we thought that the Sunday was going to be the big do, as it's always the case with Akans. But I'm told that they are SDA, so they finished everything on the Saturday.
Kwame is SDA?
The parents.
The town.
Oh, okay.
Good morning to Ambassador Sampi Yale, the Honorable Chinia Amidu Isaku, and of course to yourself. 2 things that I wanted to say as prelims before this is in support of what Ambassador Sampi Yale has said about the crossfire that is taking place in the Gaza Strip, where a lot of Ghanaians are caught up in that incident. I have seen a video already circulating where somebody is asking another person if they can access their Ghana cards. He said, no, they have run out of their place and they cannot pick any item. And they were just virtually helpless. Instead of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to be issuing statements and taking sides in a conflict that requires right-thinking persons to remain neutral, they have chosen as a ministry to take sides for Israel. The Palestinians have been many years brutalized, beaten, shredded. Our ministry has never issued a statement in support or sympathizing with the Palestinians. And all of a sudden, when it is said that some group of Palestinians, the Hamas group, decided to launch attack, then our ministry comes to issue a statement and even reaffirming its support for Israel. That is terrible. What we should be doing now is to be putting up everything to ensure the evacuation of Ghanaians. Some of them went there to go and pray, to go and touch the Wailing Wall, or what do you call that, so that their wishes can. That is what any concerned ministry should be doing. The second thing has to do with dialysis. And I think that instead of concentrating on cost, we should see how the monies that we have written off from the Bank of Ghana, some can be brought back to ensure that we are able to redeem the situation at the dialysis center at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital, and of course across the country. Now fast forward to, I have seen, what do we call this? This is the banner headline. Which one is the banner headline?
The main one.
Which one is the main one?
The GJA got it all wrong.
And this is worthy. This is worthy of being a newspaper's headline, right? So somebody who is unhappy with this can walk into the studios or the production unit and go and say that, why did you do this, and start slapping everybody. Korle Bu Teaching Hospital is 100 years plus. Common dialysis machines, I am told in the country we have about 14. We don't have. Korle Bu is begging for resources to be able to contain itself. Have you seen hospitals outside of this country? In fact, when you are sick and you appear in some hospital, the environment alone heals you.
UGMC.
The environment alone heals you, right? Now, if you go to Korle Bu and they tell you that it's a hospital, on seeing Korle Bu, you will die before you even enter. Those are the things that should capture newspaper headlines.
Sure.
Right? Those are sensitive. It borders on all of us. Not that GJ got it all wrong. And that is about the Minister for Information or Misinformation telling us what GJ should have said. The Ghana Journalists Association cannot speak their mind.
No.
And that captures a newspaper's headline. And we are not angry. We are sick. As a nation, we are sick. Somebody goes to a studio. Roland, as you asked me the question, you wanted me to talk about what has happened at United TV, not so, and
All the reactions.
the reactions. I chose to go and start from what is happening in Israel and to come to Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. So somebody outside will be happy to come and beat me and you, attack us in the studio, because the question was put as to whether we are deteriorating in media freedom. And I chose to answer. I mean, what sense? And you know, this is coming at the back. When the MPP decided, and I am told that it is not only at United TV, that even you, TV3, they wrote letters to direct content production to tell you how you should run your media house. The New Patriotic Party write to media houses to tell them that you should empanel people, including us. Who determines who should be invited? So all of a sudden, who should be invited is determined from the MPP headquarters.
Don't forget that Dr. Jacob issue.
Right? It's determined from the MPP headquarters. That you will determine that on this show, you must bring an MPP person or not. I mean, it's not done anywhere. Roland, go and check the media freedom rankings.
We are 10th from the last.
Yes.
Right.
2022.
Go and check. On the world stage, we moved 2 places up or down.
60. We're 60.
62. And we keep deteriorating. Niger has beaten us.
Niger.
Burkina Faso has beaten us. Capo Verde has beaten us. What is this? All these countries in turmoil can beat us. You know, Burkina Faso, they expel external media. And they can still beat us. That is to tell you the level that we have deteriorated. Look, you know, and somebody said that A+ tore a letter. I have seen President Mugabe. He was knighted. He took the knighting certificate and threw it in a dustbin. Right? There was a heavyweight boxer. They asked him to fight. He said he will not fight. When he took the belt and went and threw it in a dustbin. You know that's been Bola. I mean, and people tolerate it. But in our country, we cannot tolerate it. And you have people within the New Patriotic Party actually aiding and goading people to go and launch attack, telling people that if it was under some regime, there would have been an invasion, and it has happened. And as of now, the police are not going to that. That should be the prime source.
They said they're investigating.
No, they have arrested some other 15 people or 16 people. They should have gone to the person who said that there would have been an invasion because he should be the prime source of that invasion. I don't get it. You know, things, no amount of intimidation by President Akufo-Addo and his MPP can stop anybody from speaking. In fact, what has happened, we will speak the more. What has happened, many more people will now open up and speak openly against the rot in the government. If they want, they can take knives and go around and be slaughtering people. That will not stop people from speaking. What is this?
Mr. Amidou, at the end of the day, I think the party has a position. But at the same time, we have assigns of the party. And in this very instance, the young man is a youth leader in Greater Accra. And then we have other youth leaders who...
TESCON members.
Okay. So who bundled themselves together and then invaded the studio. And you look at their actions on one side and the party's position. It clearly shows that somebody might have ordered them, right?
Well, I wouldn't want to guess, but I doubt it. You know, in our homes, our own children, they don't all do the things the way you want. Is that not the case?
Agreed.
Your children don't do things the way you want. Some of them do things that are unacceptable. You only find ways of correcting and punishing them. So in political parties, there are huge organizations. It's not the conduct of every individual that may be acceptable to the party as an entity. But like I said earlier, we must find ways of punishing and dealing with the issues. My uncle made some points about the fact that the letter written was useless. I completely disagree with him. Writing a letter to an entity to express your opinion, how can that be useless?
Because it doesn't have grounds in the Constitution.
What do we mean by that?
It does not.
The NDC, and I'm surprised.
Oliver, please put the MPP letter to Despite Media on the screen for us.
Don't take me out of context.
No.
You heard that if the NDC wrote such a letter, I would have said still it's a useless letter.
He's saying that your position, whether it's useless or not.
The NDC
Oliver, please put
petition Peace FM. What is it? Support Coins program. You actually boycotted it.
Yes.
Because you didn't like certain things that were happening there.
Yes.
It was your democratic right. You stayed away, you petitioned the station that you wanted the content or certain things to be done. So what is good for you to stay away from Peace FM because you thought the host was doing certain things that were not right? I mean, it was within your right. So if MPP observe that TV3 or a certain station is doing things that we are not happy about, and we write you to, tell you our opinion or views, it does not force you to do what we want. But it gives you an opportunity to engage us for a discussion. And I don't see what is wrong about that. For you, a very enlightened person, a lawyer, to say that writing a letter to express your concerns is not grounded in. How is it not grounded in law?
If you are taking, okay.
You don't read articles of the Constitution in isolation, no. There are so many article provisions that allow me to do certain things that are not captured under. You are a lawyer. You know that articles, I mean, they relate. You don't go and stand on one article and make a position that this is what it says. You must relate it to other articles of the Constitution.
Show me.
Show me
which article.
So relate.
Show me which article.
I have not studied.
Then you cannot accuse me.
But I am just telling you that. I am telling you that it is not wrong for a party or an individual to write a letter to a media organization expressing your concerns about certain happenings in their media station. What is wrong about that?
Okay,
Ambassador, what is wrong about that? Now, A+ made certain comment, and I expected you to. He said he's more educated than the Deputy Interior Minister. You see, those are the problems that people should not undermine each other. I don't think the Constitution requires any particular certificate He said he's a master's holder, he's a degree holder.
He said that he shouldn't be assumed that he's ignorant because he
so
was
how does that relate to the education of the Deputy Interior Minister? And I expected you to correct him.
That
you should not lambast somebody unless the person is not on this platform. Why does he say that he's more educated than her? Because you are going to contest with her. The woman is the MP for Gomo Central. And because you are going to contest her and you have the media space, you can insult and undermine her. And that becomes your democratic right. I mean, how unreasonable can he be? Very, very unreasonable. And I think that he must be told in his face that the right that he has, other people have right. Why does he think that he A+? He has the right to do or to speak the way he wants, and even to speak against people who are not on the same platform with him because he considers them an opponent. So that is and he even calls Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah a hypocrite. I mean, it's an irresponsible comment he has made, and it's unacceptable. Your democratic right to speak or express your opinion does not mean you can insult others. How does he describe Oppong-Nkrumah as a hypocrite? Is Oppong-Nkrumah on this platform? I mean, it's unfair, and I thought that I thought that you should have cautioned him. And then what is it? Bernard talks about tearing of letter, or the letter was torn by A+. Me personally, people have different opinions. Me, I don't have. I mean, it's his decision. It's not UTV that tore the letter. If I write a letter to TV3. And TV3, you are the recipient of the letter. You take the letter and you are acting on it or whatever you are doing. And Bernard comes on your program with a copy of the letter from somewhere, which is not the letter that I have written to you, and he tears it. It's his moral challenge. I will not have an issue with it. I personally don't have issue with him because it's not UTV. It's not UTV that tore the letter. If UTV had torn the letter that was written to them by MPP.
We show a video of Nancy Pelosi. You know Nancy Pelosi was head of...
was
the speaker.
So is it right? Yeah. Is it right?
But we say we are America. Every time when the economy is challenged, we always compare Ghana to America, UK. But this one is not right.
You can compare. I mean, it's your right to compare. But I'm saying that if I write a letter to TV3 and TV3 decides to tear the letter, I'll have an issue because it is your duty to respond to the letter. In your response, you can say you disagree with me.
Okay.
But if a panelist comes on your show and gets a copy of the letter and tears, we didn't write the letter to A+. So we have...
Amidu, as we continue, so the letter says the program now frequently features intemperate language, unconstructive rants, and outright insult directed at the presidency by panelists. Now you go to Article 1626, it says, any medium for the dissemination of information to the public which publishes a statement about or against any person shall be obliged to publish a rejoinder, if any, from the person in respect of whom the publication was. I remember in 2016, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, he brought this word, incompetence. It was actually on public forum. You remember the various series that were convened in Central University, etc. It became a political language. No, there's actually Ace Ankuma, who professed and did, based on interpretation of law, that if you look at the criminal act as we have it, making such utterances within...
He said insulting the president is not it's a crime. It's not a crime.
Casting those aspersions against a person like the president was not an insult. It was just a moral wrong.
Well, Roland.
Or for you, it's different.
You see, I have a whole, disagreement with the approach by a lot of people within the media space.
Including Dr. Bawumia.
Equally, your attitude towards the letter is becoming for me, it's also intolerant. Because if I am an entity and you also operate an entity, and I observe something that is going on within your entity that I disagree with, or I think, in my opinion, it's not right.
Why didn't you go to the National Media Commission?
Yeah, it's an option. But what is wrong if I write to you that, Roland, you said this and that, and I think it's not right? What's wrong with that?
That's a censorship.
No. It doesn't. It doesn't censor you. I am only expressing my opinion. You can agree or you disagree. The letter the MPP has written, I mean, the media house can agree with certain aspect of the letter or the whole letter, or they can disagree with certain aspect, or they can disagree with the whole letter.
Go to NSC.
It doesn't compel the media house to do what is written in the letter. But there is nothing unconstitutional. There is nothing unconstitutional about writing a letter to a media house to express your concerns. What is unconstitutional about writing a letter to a media house? Better tell me. What is unconstitutional?
Okay.
If I observe that things are going on in TV3 that I am not happy about, and I write to you to express my concerns, what is unconstitutional about it? What is undemocratic about it?
So 1624 says editors and publishers of newspapers and other institutions blah, 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 shall not be subjected to control. And please. After that, then it says or interference. This is interference.
This is not interference.
What this is?
This is expressing the party's concerns.
This letter says reform United Showbiz. Change it.
It's a suggestion. Is there anything wrong with that?
Do you take the tone of the letter to be a reformative
your program?
Tone
if I sit here and I tell Roland that you have to reform the way you organize your program, that is my opinion. I think that maybe the way you are operating it, I haven't come to slap you.
Do you think we need to change the way we operate, moderation and all that?
I mean, I don't have any basis to say that for now. Okay. But I'm just saying that if I tell you that reform the way you do your program as an individual or an organization, it's not undemocratic. It's not trying to control your program. It's not directing you. Yeah. So the MPP writing a letter to UTV to raise concerns about a program is not to direct UTV what to do, but is to let them know that these are observations and UTV can agree or disagree.
Ambassador Sampi-Yale, have we come to the point where what was wrong in the past has now become right in the present?
You see, fortunately, he said he had not read the Constitution and referred to me as a lawyer. And so I have a duty to educate him that the Constitution...
You educate the public.
Since you...
I said that there is no article in the Constitution that is interpreted in isolation. There is a relationship amongst the articles. And then, so you don't go and read one article and say that there's media freedom. Yes,
that you can't infringe on people's rights and identities.
But there is a limit.
All right, you spoke.
And a sense of responsibility also in other provisions.
The Constitution makes reference to other relatable chapters. So it said the provision of this article and 162 and 163 of this Constitution are subject to laws that are reasonably required in the interest of national security, right? Public order, public morality, and for the purpose of protecting the reputation, rights, and freedoms of other persons. That is what the Constitution says, and not the interpretation you give, or not your understanding, right? It says that the 162 you referred to and 163, they are subject to other provisions, that is the human rights and others. Then you go to 165. It says that for the avoidance of doubt, because of the doubt that's seemingly created at 164, it says that for the avoidance of doubt, the provisions of this chapter shall not be taken to limit the enjoyment of any of the fundamental human rights and the freedom guaranteed under Chapter 5 of this Constitution. These are the clauses that this particular chapter are referenced. You know, it has not taken the interpretation or misinterpretation of anybody. Honorable Minister, what we are dealing with is this. We are all panelists. We go to various stations. And shall it be the right of any individual who feels disgruntled because of his own political or parochial interest to say that I'm organizing boys to come and attack us here?
I think that one has been condemned by all of us.
Oh, I mean, I want to condemn in sincerity.
So, is it not possible that the basis of such individuals of high repute within the MPP taking their action to the extent that they did on Saturday night is due to the justification of some individuals?
That is it. You say, if you say your son does something, you have a right to punish him. You are punishing him on the basis of what he has done and the reasonable punishment you give. Now, he made reference to Kwame Sekefa Kain's program. Did you go and beat them?
But you boycotted.
Yes, but boycott is different
And
from...
you petitioned them.
Oh, Chief.
So were you directing them?
Chief, when you were speaking, I kept quiet.
I expect Roland to be asking you those questions.
Why?
Were you directing
are you
them
not the
when
host?
petitioned?
Are you not directing the host the questions you must ask?
But you said your own questions out of context.
You said, I mean, the viewers know who is speaking out of context. I beg your pardon.
You petitioned Peace FM.
When
were you directing them? So what is wrong if MPP also petitioned UTV?
Chief,
you had the right to petition.
With all due respect, I have the right to speak.
Please, continue, Mr. Sampiale.
Chief, when NDC felt that Kwame Sefekai was not balancing the panel, not only did we complain, but Sammy Gyamfi had been accosted at the station. All right? Sammy Gyamfi had been accosted at the station. So we said we can't accept that. We did not organize talks to go and beat Kwame Sefekai. We did not organize talks to invade the station. Or we said, okay, take your station. You have a right to say whatever you say, but we are boycotting it. Is this similar to what you are saying? Is this similar to what, Chief? Look, we are adults. We are adults. Please listen.
NDC, as a party, there are many occasions you have attacked media houses, including the recent one in Tamale.
So is that the reason? Is that the reason why Minister?
So
look, we pay you with our taxes. So keep quiet and let me also express my view. I pay you. Listen.
You don't pay me to pay tax. But when you are an ambassador, I was also paying you.
Yes, so but listen. I was paying tax. That's the reason why you should listen to me.
All right, that's what you
have been an ambassador.
Mr. Hamidu, please let him wrap up.
My taxes were also paying you.
Listen.
Very well, sir.
Today, as you sit here, my taxes pay you. So
and my taxes paid you in the past.
When I'm speaking, please keep quiet and listen.
And my taxes paid you in the past.
You see, it is this situation where individuals like deputy minister would come and try to justify by saying that, it happened.
Roland, the way it's going, I mean...
It says where you're going, it's a slippery road.
You should tell me where I should go.
Don't reduce it to me, lawyer.
He said don't cast aspersions.
What aspersions?
What aspersions?
Conclude for me.
I am saying that if we collectively, like Kojo Nkrumah is seeking to do in a very wrong way, that we should sit down and talk to journalists about the intolerance that is coming up. That's not the way to do it. All right? What haven't you seen and heard in this country? But I mean, if you're going to go that way, look, a whole professor, remember Professor Moss? You called him a poodle. You call him Professor Doolittle. And you know who said that? The president. We tolerated it. The guide of that Mungo thing that you were, the NDC wrote. The NDC is not a party that would protect its children when they are doing what is wrong. Honorable Minister, what is not wrong, it will not be wrong. What is right is right.
But he's saying there was also a recent attack.
But you cannot appropriate and reprobate.
In nothing Ghana, sir.
So is that the reason why he should also encourage boys to go and attack a media station? We should stop this unnecessary equalization. It doesn't help. Today, a boy who is also contemplating doing this, the Honorable Deputy Minister was on TV3 saying that NDC did it at Damongo. Please, let's stop this.
But Roland, have I said the invasion was right? I have not said that.
You have condemned it.
You can condemn it.
You are only pretending that the NDC doesn't have that.
He has condemned it.
In law, listen.
And then he also makes reference to the official position of the party.
Yes.
But also averts our minds to an incident in which we had NDC individuals and hoodlums who also attacked a radio station.
Listen, does that give you
a fair justification?
Does it give you any justification? Right? You are in government. NDC person go to misbehave in the Damongo. What did you do to him? Didn't you have the right to arrest him if you intended to sanitate the station? Didn't you have the right to arrest him?
But he's saying that the act in itself is not of corrective measure because then it sends the signal that it's normal.
Which act is not a corrective measure?
The attack or the invasion into the Damongo.
Something happened 2 years ago.
No, that was last year.
Last year.
Or this year also.
Now, if somebody is caught
not 2 years
stealing, right? He goes to court and says, "Oh, I saw Bernard also with the greatest respect also stealing." Would that be a plea?
Okay.
No, I'm asking you a question.
Me.
If
I'm not supposed to answer. So answer.
If it's the minister's house and bundles of money are there, I will take it.
All right, please. So now, Bernard, in 3 minutes, how do you conclude on this? How do we make sure that we have a certain way forward to it so that we don't also come to the table and say that now we are saying peace should prevail? What we know on the other side, the sentiments are wrong. Because that's the position of the Information Ministry. We need to make sure the culture of intolerance is nipped in the bud. That's the next stage of the conversation.
On that statement, you agree in toto. And probably I agree with Honorable Chinia when he said that in our homes, not all our children or relations behave in conformity. And when they don't behave, what do? You take the most radical steps to correct them so they don't repeat what has been done. Having stated that what the minister is doing, away from what he said, is totally different and at variance with what he initially postulated. Look, you correct them. How do you correct them? Yes. By coming to sit here, by justifying, by telling us that other political parties did. Will you? Other political parties did what they did. And you are citing Peace FM.
Will not be fair.
You are citing Peace FM and their relationship with the NDC. Peace FM chose to invite people on the ticket of a political party.
Yes.
And the political party says that if you want to invite somebody in our name, please, let us be the one to give you someone. Do I come here because you want PNC to bring me here? You choose to call me to come. So if you wanted a PNC person to come here, and you want me to come and represent the views of PNC, you will write to the PNC or the PNC should give you. That is what the NDC did.
Yes, that's all.
It is not the same thing as you writing to a news house telling them that your program is skewed in this manner and it has deviated from serving public good. You determine public good.
I think what he's trying to say is that there was an institution like a political party, the NDC, which formally also wrote to the media house.
Were you listening to me?
Yes.
What did I say?
To protest the empaneling.
No, they invited people on the basis of political parties.
Yes, sure.
And the parties
who tells you that was it was based on political parties? Are you part of the editorial or whatever?
Mr. Amidu,
you see, you are making assumptions.
Mr. Amidu, okay. So the same argument you are making, that's what you are making.
was seeking to direct them as to what to do.
I don't talk when people are making this.
Mr. Amidu,
do you work there?
Mr. Amidu, please continue.
I don't talk. I allow people to speak because I want to respect the audience so they can listen to the presentation I'm making. So obviously, they wrote to say that if you are bringing somebody and you refer to the person as of my party, please let me be the one to bring the person. How is that the same thing as you coming to determine the content? You, Media General, did the MPP not write to you wanting to influence content production? And I don't know how many media houses they have not done that to. Probably now they will all start to speak. Look, let's correct this mistake. But like I said, you see what has happened? It has emboldened. And when I came here, I also noticed that you've taken not only measures. Now nobody can enter your studio anyhow. Not so. Nobody can enter your studio, so you can come and stand outside and make your noise. But you cannot enter into the studio and start making noise. So the media houses are also taking security steps. But honestly, I am still at a loss why the Ghana Police Service has not picked up the man who said that if it happened under some period, there would have been an invasion. And soon after that, there was an invasion.
Okay.
That should be the first point of call and influence.
All right. Thank you for coming this morning. And Ambassador Sampi-Yali, thank you, as well as the Member of Parliament for Sisala East, Deputy Minister of Sanitation, Amidu Chinia Isahaku.
Yeah, they have been given more money.
Oh, please.
United Nations are giving them more money.
To go and do a
and then also Bernard Mona, former chair of the PNC. Thank you for joining us as well. We couldn't speak on the subject of the notice that has been given by Democratic Hub, because they've now given the notification that December they are going to embark on a number of demonstrations or protests. Well, his party.
Hey.
Yeah,
yesterday.
But
we need an award.
Yeah.
We also do encourage you to cash out. It goes with the short code *439#.
There's a question I just want to ask. How come
he needs an award in
National
demonstration?
Lotteries has now decided to turn all media houses into look?
One bowl of goodness a day provides the wholesomeness of carefully selected grains and the yummy taste baby loves. Cerelac is fortified with iron plus, contributing to your child's nutritional needs. Cerelac, it's all good, Mom. This advert is FDA approved.
Are you ready? The biggest ever! Promotion with Cool gives you more. Use promo code to get the biggest bonus. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Responsibly, not for persons below 18 years. Gambling can be addictive.
When you have the extra bit of ambition in your heart, you also need extra bit of energy to come through, and for that, Rush Energy is the perfect boost to get over the line. Created in the energy